What's your question?
I wanted to know what the difference between incomplete dominance and codominance was.
Okay. A good example of codominance is blood types. Okay? With your blood types, you can have blood type A, B, AB, or O. And that's where the codominance comes in. When I mentioned blood types A and B and AB. Let me draw you a picture and I can explain it better. If you have blood type A, that means that your cells have a protein on them that would be considered like the A protein. If you are blood type B, you have a gene that is the instructions for a protein, for example, shaped like this. Now, normally genes are dominant or recessive. But in the case of blood typing, it's a codominant situation where if you were given by one parent the A gene and by your other parent the B gene, your red blood cells would actually have both shaped proteins on their surface. They'd have the A proteins and the B proteins, giving you blood type AB. So that's codominance. And incomplete dominance is, if you think of the word incomplete, it means that the genes, like for example, an A gene and a B gene, it means they're not completely expressed. Both of them are not completely expressed like they are here with blood typing. An example of incomplete dominance would be mixing a red flower and a white flower. Now, in codominance, you'd say, oh, the flower is red and white stripes. But with incomplete dominance, those two genes, the proteins blend almost like paint, like mixing red paint and white paint. And incomplete dominance is an example that would generate pink flowers. If you had a red gene and a white gene, both would be expressed a little bit and make pink flowers. Did I answer your question?
Yes, you did.
Okay, good.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Hi, Gail.
Hi.
What's your question?
I wanted to ask about enzymes and why they're so important, and if you have too little of an enzyme or too much of enzymes.
Okay, that's a good question. Enzymes are proteins that affect the rate of a chemical reaction. They affect the speed of your chemical reactions. For example, chemical reactions in your body, there's about 10,000 of them. One would be metabolizing sugar, burning sugar that you've eaten in your diet. Another one would be controlling your heart rate, your respiration. And so the way enzymes work is because they are a protein, they have a specific shape. And they work with a substrate. Now, the substrate is the molecule the enzyme is trying to react upon, like speeding up the reaction, breaking down a molecule, or helping build one. Generally, enzymes are involved in reactions that are breaking apart things, like breaking down sugar, breaking down protein that you've eaten into amino acids. A perfect example of a person lacking an enzyme or having too little enzyme would be someone that's lactose intolerant. Lactose is milk sugar, and they say 1 in 10 Americans cannot digest lactose. The reason you can't break down milk sugar once it enters your body is you're missing the enzyme lactase. All enzymes end in the suffix ase. And so, if you cannot break it down, it stays solid sugar in your body, and you can't digest that. So by adding the enzyme, again, you can take that particular enzyme over the counter. It does the job of the enzymes that should have been in your bloodstream in the first place. How you don't get an enzyme is because you lack the gene, which is the instructions on how to make it. So generally, enzyme problems or a lack of an enzyme is probably hereditary. Did I answer your question? Okay. Hi, Patricia.
Hi.
What's your question?
And what is the function of DNA?
The function of DNA. What an excellent question. Well, let's talk about where DNA is located. Your DNA is located in the nucleus of your base. How you don't get an enzyme is because you lack the gene, which is the instructions on how to make it. So generally, enzyme problems or a lack of an enzyme is probably hereditary. Did I answer your question? Okay. Hi, Patricia.
Hi.
What's your question?
And what is the function of DNA?
The function of DNA. What an excellent question. Well, let's talk about where DNA is located. Your DNA is located in the nucleus of your cells in the form of chromosomes, and you have 46 of these chromosomes. And if you stretched one out, it would look a lot like a phone cord, an old-fashioned telephone cord. Let's take a look at this picture, and I can show it to you better. There's a cell here with the 46 chromosomes inside. If you magnify the picture and you look at the chromosome and you stretch it out, you'll see the traditional double helix twisted ladder shape of DNA. Its function specifically is DNA is the instructions on how to make you. And more specifically, the DNA's instructions for making proteins. And your whole body is made of protein. And so the instructions are coded in a sequence of bases, A, G, T, and C. Those are the names of the bases. The order of the bases determines the directions on how to make the protein. Here's what the base pairs look like paired up in a DNA molecule. The base adenine always pairs with thymine, and guanine always pairs with cytosine. The human body in one of your cells has 3 billion of these base sequences lined up, sort of like reading a giant recipe. If just one of those bases is out of order, we call that a mutation. So again, the function of DNA is the instructions on how to make your body, more specifically how to make protein, which are your traits. Hair is protein, your eye color, your eyes are protein, your hair is protein. And that's the function of DNA. Again, its shape is a double helix, discovered by Watson and Crick. I hope I answered your question.
Yes, thank you.
You're welcome. Hi, Michael. Are you there, Michael?
Yes, I am.
What's your question?
What are homologous chromosomes?
Homologous chromosomes, that word homologous means matching, sort of like having a matching pair of shoes or a matching pair of sneakers. I spoke earlier how sperm have 23 chromosomes and eggs have 23 chromosomes. It's sort of like you took 23 pairs of your shoes, 46 shoes altogether, and separated the pairs into 2 separate baskets. Those baskets represent sperm and egg with the 23 chromosomes each. During fertilization, you're going to put all those pairs of shoes back together again, and when you match them up, sneaker, sneaker, boot, boot, that's like matching up your pairs of chromosomes. They're numbered, chromosome number 1, chromosome number 2, and then that last pair are your sex chromosomes. So when people say homologous chromosomes, they mean your pairs of chromosomes where you got one of the pair from your mother and one of the pair from your father. Did that help you?
Yes, it did. Thank you.
Good. You're welcome.